everyone. Welcome to another Drop Frames. It's Wednesday. Zeke, you look shocked. Well, okay, there you go. Now you got your smile on. We had to reboot Zeke before the show. He's not fully here. His program's still running all the starting systems. And Zeke, are you with us now?
Hello, JP. How's it going?
Thank you. Okay, we got a full reboot. That's good. That's good.
Sorry, Zeke EXE stopped working for a minute.
Yeah, no problem. I get it. It happens. It
A
happens.
little laggy today.
Yeah. COVID episode. Are we on?
16?
Works for me.
Oh God! See, this is quickly getting untenable.
It's hard, man, to go in orders.
18. 31. Pretty sure it's 31.
31. Okay. All right.
Yeah. 31.
You lose track of time in these trying times. You know, it's tough to keep track of the days even.
I have no idea what's going on anymore.
Yeah, I don't.
None.
No one does. Not a singular person on this earth does at all.
None.
No, I'm glad I have drop frames, and I'm glad I have like Indie Sunday, like a day, like a couple days set aside that I know I'm doing something. Otherwise, like when Thursday starts, like Thursday, Friday, Saturday are just like they're all Blur's day. They're all the same fucking day.
Yeah. Get up, turn on stream, work, stream for 8+ hours, whatever, then go sleep.
Yeah.
You just have no idea what day it is. That's how it goes. Where to begin for that? Let's start with Cohh's cat. Which cat is that? Is that Letho?
This is Letho. Yeah.
Now,
Little tiny Letho.
did you get that cat before? When did you get that cat? Before you started streaming?
Yeah. Little.
Okay.
I think actually during. Yeah. This little guy, my wife found at a barn, as a like multi-day-old kitten. And the first thing she did was she just watched it in case the mom came back. It was like all alone in this barn, and she just watched it. And after a few hours, not only did the mom not come back, but it started getting like it was going to freeze that night. So my wife basically like took this little cat, like tucked it under her shirt to keep it warm, and like drove it to the vet and got it all checked out. And then a local woman who like helps cats like bottle fed it and got it all.
Well, fucking.
I was like, oh, that's a good one, Cohh. That's a good one.
You're back. Oh, there's a blip.
Yeah, probably have that. But anyway, so we took it to a local place. It got all set up, and sure enough, we ended up with them a little bit later, and that's all she wrote.
Yeah, I don't know what state it was, but I saw that for the first time in like the history of this one pet adoption place, they have no more pets to adopt because everyone's like everyone's stuck at home right now, so it's a pretty good time to start a pet process. But yeah,
it's both awesome and a little concerning because a lot of people are picking up pets that have a lot of time to take care of right now.
Sure,
but as soon as things kind of like stable out a bit, a lot of these people are going to be starting to be gone for 8+ hours a day regularly, and it's going to kind of, hopefully it won't be like a boomerang effect,
right?
For these little guys. But I mean, overall, I mean, it's always great that at least an animal has a second chance instead of a lot of times there's like the wall at these places, like the last chance wall.
Yeah,
and the more pets we can get off that wall, the better. So
that's true. Yeah. I hope we don't have a boomerang effect, as you were just saying. That would be very tragic, but we'll see. Who knows what's going to happen?
We will see.
Video games. Actually, before video games, have you guys seen this RTX mic thing that everyone's losing their mind over on the quadders? Yeah. Cohh, did you install this thing for your speakers?
I have not yet.
I immediately thought like, oh my God, we could get rid of Cohh's speaker feed.
Yeah. Well, I'm actually probably going to install it for this show in particular. Or because like I have a really cool sound setup. It makes it so I don't have to use headphones, but unfortunately there's two things that mess it up, and that's really loud sounds, which is fine. I can just turn them down. But voices, even NPCs in video games, like for some reason, like I don't know if my mic, the SM Shure 7B, I don't know if it's just designed to pick up voices better, but it seems to like voices trigger it so much more than ambient sound.
Yeah.
So anytime like I'm on a show like this or in Discord or something like that, like that's when I get this bleed through. So I did take a look at it. I do need to get it downloaded and set up. One little line though that a lot of people are not talking a lot about on that help page though is it's even Nvidia says like this is not designed for permanent use. You will take a hit in audio quality. only turn it on when you need it. So when I read that line, I was kind of like, well, I guess I won't just, fire and forget it kind of thing. But even from the example, like I think it was Gunrun who has the example of it. Like that example still sounds great. So yeah, it's a really cool looking tech. Yeah, something to check out for sure. Especially for people that want to stream that may be in environments where they're just not able to normally. So like I know, for instance, I was watching a smaller streamer who was playing X4, and he lives in an apartment with his wife and 2 kids. And he was talking about on stream how hard it is for him to stream because like his kids will be banging on something in the background, or if his wife has a friend over and they can and they'll be talking, he doesn't want to tell them to be quiet. And it's like a tech like this could make it so he could just stream comfortably in his living room and not have to worry about any of that stuff.
Yeah.
Kind of awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't. I'll check the name of this guy, but this is
it's like way better than anything you'd ever expect, right? Like I don't think an audio engineer could do any better than this in a live broadcast, not by a long shot. And I can even take the fan away. I can point it in different directions. I can move it around. I can bang on the desk. While I'm talking to you guys, I can bang on the desk and have a fan blowing at the microphone and my face, banging on the desk. So it's like a construction site, and you guys can still literally hear me fine, and I sound okay. Like this, like if you were just sitting there listening to a live stream, this wouldn't be annoying in the background. This is fucking hilarious. Okay, this is genuinely the coolest shit I've ever seen. All right, there, I just disabled the filter. This is what it sounds like right now. Hey guys, welcome to Afternoon Coffee. Does this sound cool? Is this good audio quality? Let me enable the RTX filter again. Hold on here. All right, RTX coming on. And now we got, okay, I still hear the same thing through my headset. It's nuts. Super fucking loud.
Yeah, man.
I got air blowing my neighbors.
Yeah, it's, that's nuts that it works that well. Did they talk about how that works? Are they just canceling out like different frequencies, or?
It's AI on the fly stuff. So from what I understand, it's like the GPU is given a little bit of a code that basically like grabs on to whatever's the closest and loudest, and then it just tracks that volume, and everything that's ambient just gets dropped.
Gotcha. Yeah. Huh. Okay. That's crazy. I do know that
AI.
If you follow that, if you go to Gunrun's Twitter is where that video was for anyone wondering. But if you follow the mentions on that tweet, Anthony Kong fan and Ava GG have a conversation that goes back and forth where Ava mentions that when she sings or screams, it cancels out her voice. But as Anthony points out, that's just because it's canceling out loud and annoying things. So,
got her.
Well, one of the greatest owns I've seen on Twitter. But it is, I think that obviously is an issue, right? Like you can't have a leaf blower next to the mic and also sing, because I don't think it's going to pick up your voice when you're trying to hit the high notes. So it does have some limitations, but hopefully it's a first step in this process, and they can start to iron out a lot of the other stuff. Because I would assume since it's AI, they can teach that AI different frequencies and different ranges to pick up on. But yeah, definitely some cool stuff.
For me personally, like that is appealing, especially with summer coming, because I hate my streaming room is fine in and of itself, like in the wintertime, but in the summertime, like there's like a green screen, and like just hot boxes me in with all my computer shit. Like it would be really nice to have something I could turn on to take out the air conditioning sound.
Totally. Yeah. Does it say how intensive it is on the GPU? That was one of the other questions I had. Like, if you're a one PC streamer, can you still stream with one PC and use like the RTX encoding or the GPU encoding and also this AI stuff? I don't know. Someone in chat says up to 10%. So that's a decent pull, depending on what you're playing. But yeah,
someone in my chat asked if it was
what?
If it was software or hardware.
Software,
I'm guessing it's software.
Yeah, I believe it's software, right, Cohh? I mean, it's software that uses hardware.
I'm actually wondering that too. Like, is it GPU only, or is it CPU as well? So yeah. We'll figure that all out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So cool stuff coming out. Cool tech for there. Was there any other? I don't think there's any other Twitch stuff. They're doing more drops. Twitch is pushing forward with more drops now. now with a Fortnite event, I guess is what they tweeted out. So I guess that's their response to the community being upset. Seems a little tone deaf to me, but you know, what are you gonna do?
Wait a minute. You don't like VODs being on the front page?
Yeah.
Well, let me give you more and really see if you like them or not. You got to really test this.
It's a little unfortunate. Yeah. Yeah. Did they Oh, no. So the tweet was Twitch drops are on deck for the Twitch Rivals Super Games featuring Fortnite finals on April 22nd. For a chance at drops, link your Epic and Twitch accounts, blah, blah, blah. So it looks like it's only on the Twitch stream that is streaming that Twitch Rivals stuff. I don't know how any of that works. So it's not going to necessarily be.
In other words, Twitch is like, oh, you don't like that other stuff being front page? Well, then we'll just front page ourselves.
Yeah,
you know what?
We'll just keep it to
you
ourselves.
kids don't get any more front paging. Now it's just for us.
Yeah.
So hope you're happy.
What? Sorry, I went to the webpage and it actually froze my Chrome because it was loading like a billion assets here. Yeah, I think that this is just on. Okay, I think it's just on twitch.tv/Twitch Rivals. At least that's the only link that I see there that's active or will be active. So, yeah, I don't think we'll get a comment or anything from Twitch on the drop situation. Hopefully, Valorant Valorant hasn't said anything except for like it's available on all channels, right? They're not removing that stuff anytime soon. Have you guys seen any of that conversation?
It's on Twitch, not on Valorant.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. It's definitely a thing. It's definitely still a very strange category on Twitch, the Valorant section, if you go into that, because the top like usual 2 to 3 spots are just 24/7 VOD channels that people are idling and trying to get access to that stuff. So it is what it is.
It's really tough when money's involved.
Yeah. If they're running ads on top of that, it's a little bit weird for sure.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure we've said this before. It's like I don't know who has the rights to Seinfeld or whatever, but it's like, are you gonna run a brand new show you take a chance on, or are you gonna run the syndicated reruns of Seinfeld that get way more viewers? You know, like
especially when it's not just more viewers. Like Twitch is all about ad content.
Yeah.
So like that, the ads are one of the best money incomes. So when these channels run this AFK footage masquerading as or recorded footage masquerading as live, like that is literally Twitch will be making more money if those streamers do that. So this isn't just like hey, yeah, sure, we'll turn them off because people want it. This is going like Twitch, we want you to make less money. So these other streamers will basically have a better chance to grow. And honestly, Twitch has proven over and over that's a tough pill for them to swallow these days. Like they're in Amazon, they're beholden to Amazon, and that is where the cookie crumbles right now. Yeah. So it's a big ask for them. It's a really big ask.
Yeah, it is. We've always talked about like the evolution of drops and back when Warframe was doing it, and then Tarkov, and how like crazy of an initiative it was in terms of just like the numbers that come with it. I never imagined that we would be on the other side of the coin of like, well, it is being abused right now with 24/7 channels. Like I never imagined that could be a thing. But that's the internet, basically. They'll find a way to abuse it to make the most out of it. And it is what it is. So, yeah.
It is what it is.
Before we go on to games, I wanted to ask your guys' opinion because I know I tweeted about it and stuff like that. There was another bait video that was put out as far as like they said some scandalous shit
to
get like views and stuff.
Sure.
Do you guys have any like feelings of that one way or the other? Are you nonplussed about it or even give a shit?
I think wasting a single second on it is
just
like the whole reason that shit the reason that shit blew up is because people made it blow up, right? Like
exactly.
Yeah, like that is a manufactured in some degree tweet that is there to incense people who watch it, that then feeds the fire of what that whole thing was meant to be, that just kept fucking churning in the Twitter hate machine, that then ended up benefiting the person that originally made it in a weird way. And yeah, just don't feed into that shit. It's
so you're of the don't feed into it camp.
Yeah. What are the other camps is maybe a way to talk about this that I guess is more interesting to me than like what the actual video content was.
Well, the camp I'm in is recognize it for what it is. If you think it's funny, like I did, I thought it was kind of funny. I was like, that's pretty funny. It's I mean, it was well crafted. And the reason why it got so much exposure is because it sounded absolutely real. And it seems like there's no way someone would say that with honesty, especially being, as articulate as it was.
Yeah.
And I'm of the camp of like, I recognize it, but I don't mind giving that a little bit more exposure. It doesn't bother me very much, but I will call it out. Like, that's pretty good bait.
Yeah, I do want to be clear. We're kind of talking around it this entire time in terms of what we're specifically referencing. There was a video that came out of basically a Twitch streamer saying that that viewers should subscribe, and if they don't, I'm super paraphrasing. It shows how much I actually watched it or cared about it. Basically, if you don't subscribe, that I don't know what she said, whatever that, or don't subscribe.
He was making the argument that if you had enough time to sit around and watch Twitch, then you had enough time to pay $5 to a streamer for their content. And if you didn't have that $5, that you should probably not be watching Twitch in the first place, and it's irresponsible of you.
Okay.
And here's the thing, like the stuff Zeke is saying right now, I had no idea that was a joke either. Nothing that I've ever read has led me to think it was a joke. I thought that was a totally serious thing said by that person.
Yeah.
So I that is the first I've actually heard anyone mention that, to be honest.
Yeah. I see a comment in chat. Wasn't that like a month ago? No, that was a different one, which shows that it's a thing that is very easy to abuse. I mean, people get very upset over random shit like this. So,
okay. Chad is affirming it was not a joke. There was no satire involved. She was actually 100% serious by what she said.
Yeah. I think Zeke just perceived it to be a joke, which totally way to perceive that.
Which is, I mean, that's something that streamers joke about all the time. In fact, since then, I mean, the guy that you referenced earlier did a funny thing about Anthony Confan. He did a whole funny thing to his community where he like made a huge joke about it. And, like it's a, just like comics have running themes that they frequently joke about that can also be taken seriously. It's the same thing for streamers. And that's just a topical thing for streamers to joke about.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, I guess I didn't want to discuss like specifically. I wanted to like talk about the overarching like idea of it. It reminds me of like shock jocks, like when Howard Stern was first getting popular and stuff like that. I just wanted to see like what your opinion of like shock for exposure's sake. Like maybe you're saying stuff on purpose to get views, even if they're like no publicity is bad publicity, including like negative shit you get.
Yeah. I mean, in some
that's
sense,
gonna be up to the specific entertainer. Like what kind of stuff do you want? Do you want to take like what was the Jim Carrey movie where he was the real person?
Man on the Moon?
That kind of shock. Yeah, there you go. That kind of shock comedy. That's the whole thing for some people. Being the villain, is a whole thing also. So yeah, Kaufman, exactly. So the thing is like in this particular instance, I think that a reply I read by Jesse Cox said it best. It's like the thing that happened is when that came out, there were a lot of people kind of rushing to the defense of the good streamer, putting up commentary about how, oh, here, look at this person, look how terrible they are. We would never do that in my channel, blah, blah, blah. Like we're so opposite of this. And we love our community and that's cool and everything. That's right.
Virtue signaling.
Yeah. Virtue signaling. Yeah. But I think the best thing was like what Jesse Cox said, where it's like, a lot of times when this stuff comes around, you don't need to say a word. You don't need to comment on it or virtue signal, essentially. Just keep doing your thing. Appreciate your community like you do all the time. Most importantly, let your stream talk for itself.
Yeah.
Like if you're the kind of person that really respects your community, you don't need to tell them that. You just need to do it. And you don't need to like get up and tell everyone you're doing it. Like just do it, So I kind of like that too. I felt it was a little bit unfortunate how many people were just relinking it all over the place.
Totally, yeah.
Saying how horrible it was. Now, granted, to be fair, there was another event a month or two ago. It was very similar to the same thing. Somebody shaming people in their channel for not subbing and stuff like that. And even during that one, I think even I said something about like, this is kind of scummy. Like, don't think you need to do this. Like, because sometimes, especially with our industry being so new, it's okay to hear every so often. But at the same time, it doesn't mean every time it happens, you need to stand up and say something. A lot of times for stuff like this, especially when someone's doing it for publicity, better not to get them that publicity. Just that's not necessarily the thing we need to focus on. We're in a kind of a new industry. I can tell you for a fact that a lot of people will look at that and go, what is this girl talking about? What is Twitch? And then that will be their first impression of Twitch.
Yeah.
Her video will be their first impression of Twitch.
I saw a lot of that.
That sucks.
That's why I brought it up, because I didn't even think about that. That didn't even cross my mind that people outside of Twitch that don't really know what the deal is would see that and go, wow, this whole thing looks scummy to me. This is my first exposure to that. Like, that part of it, I didn't even think about. I was totally like oblivious to that shit. So it gives me a reason personally not to like promote it, even if I'm joking, calling it out, whatever.
Yeah.
That absolutely gives me something to hold on to. So I'm glad, like, that's why I wanted to discuss it, to see like if I'm in the wrong for my part in it.
Right.
Well, and just to, like play both sides a little bit here. There's everybody's stroke of comedy and satire and that kind of stuff is going to be different. Like just something that insults somebody could be hilarious to somebody else. So like you said, it's not really a wrong here. It's more of just like what perspective you have on the different opinion of that kind of stuff. There are people that are defending her, that are realistically defending her, and the exact argument she made in that video. And it's like, like there's this weird discussion going on. There's even other streamers that are somewhat defending it. So it's kind of like, I guess that's a discussion that could be had, but it's just, I think most of us, the best decision is to just honestly let it die as fast as possible and keep the magnifying glass off.
I think
reasonable does not always equate with morally right. You know what I'm saying?
I think what we need to do.
I agree.
Argument, but it doesn't necessarily mean like.
I know a group of guys.
There's absolutely no question that video came from a place of privilege, like complete lack of perspective and complete lack of understanding. Like it is, and shelteredness. Like it was kind of hard to watch, to be honest.
I think what we need to do.
But yeah, and so that also is a factor.
Yeah, I know a group of guys will go into the metaverse, we'll change her heart, and then we'll just see what happens. We'll see if she makes another video after that, and see what comes of it. Because otherwise, we're just wasting time. My other follow-up to that is, speaking of shit, Cohh, how's Fallout 76?
What a transition!
Oh yes,
well played.
I'm excited to hear about this.
Okay.
Okay.
Where do we start this? This is such
I need to focus my non-ranting here.
Okay.
So I'm not going to turn this into a rant. I'm going to say my piece, and then just like before, I'm going to let it die. So here we go. Here we go.
Okay.
Used a dumpster fire, and then Bethesda peed on that dumpster fire with their oil-like urine. It was to this day one of the worst releases ever, and will always be in history one of the worst releases ever. It lacked basic functionality like FOV sliders and push to talk. There were decisions made that were just brain dead dumb. Design decisions like not including NPC, which were just terrible. It was terrible, and I've spoken that into the ground, and that will never ever change. A few months ago, I had a charity event. Part of that charity event was as a joke that I didn't intend to make, but at the last moment we made the goal, was to play an afternoon of Fallout 76. I kept saying, putting it off because I honestly really didn't want to do it. I kept saying over and over, like, I'll just wait until this Wastelanders thing. They're putting in NPCs, whatever. It'll be Wastelanders, right? I'm sure they'll put in like 5 NPCs and they'll probably gurgle and then that'll be it. And and Bethesda, it'll probably be absolute shit. So I'll just save it for that. And I'll take it. Because of course the release gave me zero faith in the game at all. So then I returned for Wastelanders. I was just going to pick up my character and play it for an afternoon and be done. I made a little video saying like, I don't know what's going to happen. Whatever, we'll see. And then at the end of the day, I decided to restart making a new character. And now that I've played it for a few days, I can safely say that Fallout 76, the game, has improved a lot. The Wastelanders expansion adds NPCs that are relatively fun and interesting to deal with. It adds a life side to the game that was just completely lacking from before. A lot of the bugs and issues I left for, like the constant crashing, the FOV slider, the push to talk, a lot of stuff's been added in. I don't even have to use my INI files now to get a view that I actually like. A lot of the bugs that I dealt with before also that were driving me crazy on a daily basis are just no longer there. It's a different experience fundamentally from when I played. And the way that they structured it is if you make a new character, he's immediately off the bat. And then after that, you go to like a little quest hub where you actually have like these decision-making things that happen. And Jason Mewes, inside voice.
Oh. I thought it was Voorhees.
I think I'm just crashing over this. Promise, by the way, for those that don't know, I'm on a cell connection now, and the connection upload tanks if there's a download. So anytime JP has a video on the screen that has to play through my Zoom call, that's why it's tanking.
That's true.
I wish there was something I could like pause it or something. But anyway, TLDR, although nothing will ever forgive the release, and a lot of the monetary issues are still incredibly scummy, the game itself has made a lot of improvements in the year and a half I've been gone. And the Wastelander expansion has added in, it's never felt more like a Fallout game than now. They have like settlers all around the map that have random dialogues. When you go to areas that used to be devoid of people, there's now NPCs there that talk and kind of add to it. Jason Mewes did a great job voice acting. There was a whole little quest line involving that where there was actually like tangible decisions to make that change the outcome of different events. When you talk to NPCs, you'll get like 2 options you can do, and then generally a list of options that are behind stats, behind faction checks, like all sorts of different things that were actually kind of devoid from Fallout 4 that now we're seeing in Fallout 76, which is really weird. That's kind of made this little resurgence. So I haven't really fully explored it yet because apparently the good part of Wastelanders starts when you get level 20, because then there are these 2 major factions and you have to kind of join one, and you get to a new city full of NPCs and there are quest lines there and sub factions and all sorts of stuff. But I can say in the 4 or 5 days I've been playing it now, it's been actually a lot of fun, and I'm planning on kind of at least exploring all the Wastelanders content and going from there. It is also important to mention that Bethesda basically it has a lot of new ambient music. Einon Zur, who is a fantastic musician, made a lot of new ambient tracks, but unfortunately they are claimed on YouTube, and we can't put any of this on YouTube. So one of the things that's been kind of amazing for me is I had to turn. Is it plugged again?
No. I'm laughing at the fact you can't put on YouTube that just like sucks.
Yeah. So but one of the things is, even since Fallout 4, I couldn't listen to the radio because our Fallout 4 playthrough was on YouTube. So one of the things we've done is we just said, screw it. Like, this isn't going on YouTube. We're just making a Twitch playlist. And because of that, for the first time in like 4 years, I've been playing with the radio on. So there's like an all new DJ, and we're getting all the old tracks like Atom Bomb and, Mr. Sandman. And like the music alone is just, it's so much fun kind of listening to all the music that I haven't been able to listen to for years because of copyright strikes.
Right.
So, overall, like I'm having fun with it. I'm enjoying it. But the important thing, like I keep getting asked, like, is it worth buying now? No.
Well,
that's still really buggy.
That's what I was going to ask.
Still got issues. Like it's still got a lot of problems, and it still has a rather atrocious monetization system. So I don't recommend that people run out and buy 76. It's got a long way to go. It is not a No Man's Sky redemption arc. It is not some scrappy little company that is giving free updates and pouring their heart and soul into making a project better. That is not 76. It has gotten better. Credit where it's due. It's gotten a lot better. And if you already own the game, it's probably worth a revisit. But at the same vein, I certainly wouldn't recommend people go out and buy it if they haven't yet. It does have a long way to go before that, including there's a lot of major bugs still in the game that haven't been worked out. There's major issues. I've heard the hacking thing is still there somehow, although I haven't seen it. Like there's still some major things that need to be ironed out before I'd say this is worth it. And also, I think they need to rework the monetization system because it's still pretty damn scummy. But it is better. It is on the path to getting better. I never even thought I'd say that. And credit where it's due. I am having fun playing it right now.
Okay. Well, one of the things you said, and you kind of answered it there, was that it's improved a lot. I was going to ask, because it improved enough, and I think you kind of just covered the bases there. Um, for someone that, like, who do you think should buy this game then? Anyone? People that enjoy Fallout, like who jumps
that
in?
Can Fallout fanboys that can heavily excuse early access products and don't mind being the pawn of major corporations.
What an endorsement there. Put that on the back of the box.
Buy Fallout 76 today. Yeah, I mean it's the kind of like I trust me, I'm a Fallout fanboy. It hurt me how bad 76 was on release. It pains me that there's a Fallout out there that I just can't recommend. But there's a lot of ground that Bethesda has to cover. They really screwed the old pooch with the 76 release. And it's not the kind of thing where, a couple free updates are going to just make it all better. Like, I'm never, the fact that when the game came out, there were major issues with storage, and Bethesda told the community verbatim, we can't give you unlimited storage. It's not technically possible. And then here we are a year and a half later, and to get unlimited storage, you have to pay $100 a year. It's like, dude, any way you slice that, that's a horribly shitty thing to do. Like, I can't in good conscience tell people, like, yeah, go support that. Like, that sucks, man. It just sucks. They promised that the cash stop would never have anything that affects gameplay on it. Yet there are now scrap things. You can get a little robot that goes out and get your scrap for you. There's auto repair stuff that saves you hard to find resources. Like, this stuff definitely influences being able to recommend it with a smile. So it's one of the more conflicted products I've ever had streaming. And if I wasn't such a Fallout fanboy, I don't know where I would be with it.
I'm curious. You've jumped into the
and I understand people hate me. That's fine. Like, I've gotten so much hate over this over the last few days. Like, I just got to a point where I had to say, I just want to play it, man. Like, I'm sorry. I know that it rubs some people the wrong way and everything.
You were streaming it.
Oh yeah,
I thought you got
streaming
hate
it.
You were shitting on it just now. With both
sides
of those are actually insane people. I don't want to give credit to one side.
Fallout 76 fans understand the hate generally. Like,
gotcha.
Even the people that really like the game generally, they're like, oh yeah, you absolutely hate Bethesda and Fallout 76. That's cool. I'm gonna go keep looting stuff.
Yeah.
Like, they're not like horribly aggressive about defending it because they know there's huge issues everywhere. The people that are really against it. Here's the thing. They're not wrong in thinking this way. But the people that are really against it are the people that like, Cohh, you can't support companies that do this shit because they're going to keep doing it. Elder Scrolls 6 might release with a cash shop and a subscription service because people are playing Fallout 76. Starfield may release with a subservice. It's like these are actual things that could happen because people are doing this in 76. That's a horrifying thought to have.
Well,
horrifying.
I mean, in some sense, Bethesda was the original release in early access and patch it till it's better, right? Like, they were there before early access even existed.
And I mean, and people even go back to Skyrim and say, "Remember horse armor?"
Yeah, that's exactly. That's what I'm saying.
And don't get me wrong, that's all true. That's all true.
Yeah,
but it's to the point today where it's so integrated and kind of in your face and just blatantly dishonest at times that it's gotten to the point where I feel a lot of people are just saying enough is enough. That's understandable. So, like I tell people throughout my entire playthrough of 76, like, these are the reasons I'm enjoying it. No, I don't recommend this to everybody. I'm going to keep having a good time and do my best not to rant. And if you don't want to watch 76, like, I understand. If you keep hating the game, I understand. I'm not here to convince you.
Yeah.
I'm not here to tell you to buy it. Like, I'm just a guy playing a video game, doing his best to focus on the parts that he likes.
Yeah.
And, like, again, that's it. Where we are.
It has been.
Yeah, if you want to just leave the channel until I'm playing something else, like, you do whatever makes you comfortable, my man. I'd never ask you to do otherwise.
It has been very interesting to see the viewership across the board kind of be pretty high, both for yourself and other streamers that are streaming it as well. But I wonder if what you said, if that's just the haters looking to come hate, or if that's people looking to see where the game's at, or a mix of both, or what.
There's a lot of people that were like me. There was a lot of people that were generally fans of 76 or fans of Fallout. And when 76 came out, they wanted it to be good. And just like me, they were crazy let down. So there's a huge amount of people that are coming back and just being like, I get this all the time. Is it good now?
Yeah.
Like, do I have a reason to come back? like I own the game. Is it worth me reinstalling? Like that? Those are the people that are flooding to Twitch right now. Like, is it worth it? And that's why I tell people, if you already have it, absolutely give it a try. Wastelanders is free. Like if you've already done the deed, if you already got the stigma on your forehead, like go ahead and give it a try. See if you like it. I like I said, I strongly recommend starting a new character because all of the Wastelanders stuff is now minute 1. Like it actually feels like a Fallout game now. Right when you leave the vault, there's 2 NPCs sitting there complaining you can talk to that already have skill checks and stuff. Like it feels like a completely different game. Also, I can say now that Fallout 76, no question it should have released with NPCs. The whole idea of making an empty Fallout world, that was a bad design decision.
Yeah.
It was just a bad choice. There's nothing that really, like, you can argue it as much as you want, but in my opinion, that was just a poor design choice. Because the game is so much more interactive, immersive, playable when you have like these hubs of NPCs you can go back and they have new dialogue to say every so often. You can do quests for them. They have their own little stories and their own, like, it's a lot better. It is a lot better now.
How do you know, you've jumped in a little bit in ESO. Do they handle it the same way in terms of like the freemiumness of it?
I'm going to be blunt. I've had people over and over say that the Fallout 76 model is following the ESO model. So
okay. That's an emote, right?
That I hear. I'll put that on my license. But yeah, so but I personally didn't have enough experience with ESO to comment on.
Okay. All right. Gotcha. Yeah, it's a weird thing. How much is it to buy into Fallout 76? If you have never owned it before, what does it cost?
Well, it's now on Steam, and it's also important to mention for the next 6 days, if you own Fallout 76 on Bethesda, you can get it for free on Steam. So if you're even possibly contemplating playing Fallout 76 in the future, just go and connect your Steam account to Bethesda, and it will.
I might
be
actually
on Steam.
do that. Yeah.
Classic Bethesda moment, though. Apparently, if then somebody gets into your Steam account, they can bypass your Bethesda login and take all your shit. That's been happening on the 76 forums.
Like in game, they can destroy everything?
People have been linking their Steam account to their Bethesda account, getting it on Steam, and then they get their Steam account hacked because they don't have like all the 2FA stuff turned on. And if your Steam account is connected to Bethesda, it just bypasses the Bethesda login. So in other words, like, you don't need to hack both. You only have to hack. Yeah, anyway, it's a mess.
Okay.
Classic mess. But that being said, you can get it for free on Steam, and just make sure you have, just like we always say with everything, if 2FA is available, turn on 2FA. Always have 2FA on. Any system that has 2FA, turn on 2FA.
Yep.
But that being said, right now you can get Fallout 76 for $40, and that comes with a bunch of free updates. But it doesn't have the Fallout First stuff, which you'll want to look into because that can be a thing. And of course, there's the cash shop with all of its little stuff too.
$40? Jesus, that seems so expensive.
Yeah.
Is the DLC free? The like Wastelander stuff or whatever?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, all the big updates they've had since then that are not in the cash store or Fallout First have been free updates. So Wastelanders is free. And I have to say, like, if the cash shop wasn't an issue and the subscription service stuff was rolled into the game, you could almost argue it's worth $40 from what I'm seeing. But again, with the cash shop and the subscription service, it's really hard to even consider that argument.
Man, $40.
Yeah.
I just can't swallow that. That's a lot. I don't think I've ever actually been upset that a game has been that high priced before. What were we gonna say, Zeke?
Credit where credit's due. I told you it's taken from your chat, JP. Made me laugh. Said I'd rather staple $40 to my wall and stare at it. Fuck, made me laugh. Just
oh man, that's a lot.
This is better. This is better.
But like the thing is developmentally, 76 has come a long way, but because of how bad the launch was, that's just like one pillar that needs to make progress. Like that's the reason why everyone says, like, is this a No Man's Sky redemption arc? No, it's not. Like Bethesda will have to make fundamental changes to how they monetize this product for it to be anything even close to possibly maybe being a No Man's Sky style redemption arc. it's not the same. It's apples and oranges right now. It's
Yeah.
just not the same. But again, all this stuff being said, there's no question that the game itself is a lot more than it was when I left it. So
Yeah,
that's where we are.
Well, at least they're trying, I guess. And at least if that update was not free, like if you told me that update costed $10 or something, then I'd be a little bit upset.
If Wastelanders cost money, I would not be playing Fallout right now.
Yeah.
That would have been the nail in the coffin for me. If they would have charged you to put in the NPC stuff, like I'm already so close to the line. Like that would have been the toe over it. Like,
sure. Sure. Huh. All right. Well, you're gonna keep playing it after today.
I'm gonna keep playing it. I'm gonna do at least all of the Wastelanders content and see how that is. I've heard the new cities are really cool. You get to a point, you do a bunch of intro stuff with Jay Muse and all those guys. Jay Muse, Jay and Silent Bob. He's one of the voice actors.
Oh wow. Okay.
Which is great. He actually does a really good job. And you do a bunch of intro stuff with them, and then it kind of releases you off into the world. And of course, the world has been changed a lot because there's NPCs and stuff all over the place now. You even get to meet the Overseer that was like apparently like dead at the end of the first one. She's like back, and you can go into her house and stuff. Pretty awesome.
Huh.
Spoilers. So that's all stuff. And then at level 20, I don't know how it happens because I'm purposely avoiding it. But at level 20, there's two big factions now: Raiders and Settlers. And apparently, you pick a faction. And then there's like all these quests, and there's like two major cities, and there's sub factions in each of those you can work with, and there's quest lines you work through there. And then when you get to the end of all of that stuff, however many hours that is, that's when you get to like the daily grinds, which are the time gated standard. It's kind of MMO-y how it works. Honestly, you can only do like get this many resources per day and stuff like that. That's another point of contention in the long time player Fallout 76 community right now, because apparently the time gates are really low. So you can the amount that you can earn per day is kind of tiny. Like some big items take like days and days and days to make, and they give you like lots of big items to get. So it's kind of like, you really only want me playing your game an hour a day? Like it's kind of weird. So, but I'll be, if we want to talk about it again, I may be able to comment on that later.
Somewhat of a potential for, I guess, a nefarious answer. The game's always online, but with these time gates you just mentioned, and the idea that I would assume this game's incredibly easy to exploit/hack, can you just do things to skip that type of stuff in terms of like third-party tools if you're playing it as a single-player thing? Like,
from what I understand, all of the hacking and exploiting is based on items that exist in the world. Like they actually just this morning re-enabled vendor machines and display cases because apparently there was a dupe bug with that. But the big thing is almost all the time gates, from what I understand, are revolved around currency type stuff. And I don't know if there's any way that currency type stuff has been hacked. Maybe it has, and I just haven't heard of it. But I don't believe there's any types of hacks or that stuff that can get people more of these items from these vendors and machines. Again, I don't follow that stuff too closely, so maybe I'm just dead wrong. But I do know that most of the hacking and exploiting and stuff like that was actually removing like the physical in-game world items from stuff. Now, of course, you could buy one of these big items and then maybe dupe it and stuff somehow.
Sure.
But the big kind of dupe bug that had been going around, they apparently fixed this morning. So and people are saying relatively positive things about that actually being fixed. So, but who knows? We'll see. I mean, it's generally a one step forward, two step back situation a lot of times with this. So
yeah,
who knows what other doors got open from all this?
Yeah. All right. Well, that's Fallout 76. What a lot of weird. 2020 is a weird year.
Dude, it's a weird year. You have no idea how strange it was saying all that stuff I just said. Like, I seriously was never expecting to ever want to play that game again when I left.
I remember we joked about it where like you did your charity reward and me and Zeke were like, I guess we could jump in there and play that with you. And in the back of my mind, I was like, God, I hope Cohh doesn't ever remember we said that. Like,
yeah.
I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
I don't want to play this game. So yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah.
If there's a lull and I'm like my schedule's open, like Crammy Mayonnaise is itching to get back in there.
Dude,
well, I'm itching to annoy your entire audience again. Because boy, they hated me.
That was fun.
I would love to bring you back in anytime you want to, Zeke. We could have some fun now. We could have some fun.
Oh,
you should join the Raider faction and just become like Granny Nanny the Raider and just go around and just take everyone's stuff and role play all that terrible things.
Is there still PvP? Like there's still a lot of PvP in the game, right, Cohh?
Yeah, but I've heard it's mostly an afterthought. these days. Like I don't they
Gotcha.
never, just like we said when we left, like they really would have had to buckle down and develop that system. And from what I understand, they just did. So yeah, PvP is still there, but I'm pretty sure it's still just as afterthoughty as it was when we left it.
Gotcha. All right, Zeke, how's the Doom Eternal going? Are you done with it?
I quit.
All right,
streaming it.
Really?
Gotcha.
I quit streaming it. Yeah.
Business reason?
I mean, yeah, there's a couple of reasons. One is it wasn't doing like viewership wise, and I know viewership is down like across the board, give or take,
sure,
on Twitch right now. However, immediately when I switched games, I noticed like a huge percentage uptick of like people who are actually watching. So it wasn't just like my imagination or whatever. It was actually the game choice. And yes, I would say like I have a nice core of people who watch me for me, personality wise or interaction wise, stuff like that. However, the reason, and I thought about it, and the reason why that Doom might not have been a great choice for me and my channel is because my channel thrives on interaction with chat, and Doom gives no breath. Like it is action. The only time that I get like a moment to breathe is when you go back to the ship after you complete a mission. So it wasn't enough time. I saw chat just scrolling past, and I wasn't able to look at it. I wasn't able to read a lot of it because, on nightmare mode especially, you're just fucking, you're not stopping. You're always moving and shit like that.
Non-stop.
It's not that it was too difficult, because I feel like I could beat the game, but just doing shit over and over again and discovering like a pattern that I could, a path to victory, so to speak. I did come up against that guy you talked about, the guy on the floating platform thing. That
that guy, that boss.
Yeah, he splits up and that kind of shit.
Did you beat him?
That was a fucking tough. Yeah, I did.
Yeah,
that was a fucking tough fight, dude.
The moment was when you beat him, and then it drops you down, and then it says, "Hey, fight two of these guys."
Yeah, that was a kick in the nuts, wasn't it?
I think every stream I've watched at that point does the like, oh man, come on, and then they die. So yeah, that's a cool moment. You don't often see a game that like. I don't think I can recall a game actually where it's like, all right, you just beat this really hard guy. You're gonna fall and now fight two of them.
Sweat dripping down. You're like, fuck, what?
Yeah. It's not. I don't think Dark Souls has never done anything like that. I'm kind of actually sad that Doom took that away from like a Dark Souls style game, where it's like you killed this once, now kill two of them. Yeah.
Yeah. I think there was
maybe gargoyles, I guess.
The Sekiro and the monkey.
Oh,
that's a good call.
There was.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Sekiro monkeys, yes. There was the Ice Princess and the Soup Bowl guy from the latest Dark Souls.
The Ice Princess.
They had three fucking phases.
Guy.
Yeah.
I don't remember
Dark Souls. He had a big like cauldron, and he would smash you with the cauldron, and she was like, did ice attack.
Yeah. Oh god.
Yeah, Sister Frida, yeah. And father, yeah, whatever.
Oh, from the DLC. From the DLC. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that was a fucking terrible. It's like, okay, phase 2, okay. And then you're like, phase fucking 3? Are you kidding?
Yeah.
Let me just win.
Then you die and you got to do it all over again. Yeah, I guess Dark Souls has done that type of shit though.
But yeah, definitely that Doom boss was a. Because they set you up in this fashion. This is the first time that you see those little life checks, or life bars underneath. So you got to do it twice.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh shit, this is the first time they're doing that. But not only do they throw that at you for the first time, they have a whole nother fucking phase after that. And you're like, what? You just threw this all at me at like once?
Yeah.
All right, Doom. But like, honestly, beating it was pretty goddamn satisfying.
Oh yeah.
Once you figure out how to do it,
you
figure out you break the shield, then you start pounding him with whatever you got, stuff like that. It started becoming like muscle memory, mechanics, stuff like that. Like, oh, if I jump here, I can get off shots. Then I go over here, I get this, and map out, do your loop or whatever. Yeah, it was. I mean, it was fun. It is fun. It's a fucking great game. It's just not for my channel.
Sure.
Because when I started playing, like we'll probably talk about this later, but when I started playing the 13th Doll, like immediately saw an uptick. I felt better because I was catching chat more often.
Totally.
We can make fun of the game and shit like that. So yeah. And someone asked in chat, like, would it be better for you to play games on release? Personally, not so much. For my particular audience, like Cohh, Lyric, like there's definitely variety streamers who play games on release and do very well with them. I never have. I've always been better with, forgive the phrase, sloppy seconds.
Yeah, makes sense. Last bit of news, or I guess conversation about the Doom Eternal. There was I think it's IGN that does this series now. Yeah, so IGN started the series called Devs React. And basically it's devs watching speedruns of their games. And they did one for Doom Eternal where a guy beats it in 27 minutes. They are some of the most, I don't know what, interesting and also just fun videos to watch.
Candid.
Yeah, candid as well, because it's devs watching someone, essentially break their game. And specifically with the Doom Eternal one, they're like, it starts and he beats the first level, the entire first level in a minute 30. Because he just kind of goes out of bounds, and there's a glitch where if you bind the mouse wheel to jump and you fall off an edge or something like that, you can put in enough jump inputs to where it just launches you through like a no-clip type zone. And so that happens, and the devs are, wait, what? How the fuck did he do that? What the fuck is that? And then some other dev and there's like, oh, they figured out that bug and they found that wall. We were supposed to fix that during this pass. And like, they kind of talk about it in that sense. And
dude, the best. What was the dude's name?
The streamer?
No. At one point closer to the end, the dude does that jump trick and he fires like completely across the map and you don't see anything on the screen. And then all of a sudden everything materializes and he lands on this platform. He turns around, and he runs in, and he's in a dev room.
Oh, yeah.
And all the devs go, oh, God damn it, Jerry, you were supposed to take that out. And the other guy's like, no, that was Billy.
Yeah.
That was, no.
Awesome.
Yeah. It was hilarious. I hadn't laughed that hard at a YouTube video in years.
Yeah.
But just like, God damn it, Jerry. That's not my fault, God damn it.
Yeah.
Was that for Doom or what?
Doom Eternal.
Or what
it was
game?
for Doom Eternal, yeah.
I found a way into it. So in one of the levels is an actual dev room. Like the whole room and everything is still in the level that we played. Normally you can never get to it. You can never access it. And this guy found a way to jump over and he got a BFG early, I think.
Yeah, that's
something.
what it was. He grabbed the BFG
he had
and left
the
the
BFG
room.
weapon like way early.
Okay.
Oh, man.
Yeah. It's a really fun video.
Somebody needs to sit with them who knows speedruns and sit with them and go, okay, we're going to watch this speedrun and explain to him what any percent means. Any percent means out of bounds.
Oh, they understand all that.
They're going to take advantage of glitches and shit like that.
Yeah.
And then show them like a no out of bounds speedrun, like how it's like supposed to be played ish.
Yeah.
Kind of a thing. And then show them that and go like, there are categories for this shit. Like every game can be broken.
These devs were totally playing along.
Yeah.
Like they were into it. They understood what they were watching. Yeah, especially towards the end, because like at the very end, the dude beat the boss in like 2 minutes. It made me feel like such a tool.
Oh God,
like,
I know. I did that same boss. I died multiple times on that boss. Yeah.
Oh God, he just and then at the very end, what's hilarious is the dude uses some jump exploit to jump up a tower, and the devs are sitting there like, why is he doing that? Why what's the purpose? Oh, he's just showing off.
Yeah.
Oh, he's just showing off. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Like,
it's great,
dude. It's so good. It's so good.
It's a great video. It's called Devs React. If you search Devs React IGN Doom Eternal, they have like a full video series that IGN's doing. I'm trying to think some of the other games that I've seen on there, but I'm failing to. So you can just Google it, and there's a bunch of different ones. They're all very, very good. And it's also like kudos to whoever created or thought that was a good idea at IGN, because that's a fucking brilliant idea. I wish I had thought of that shit. It's super cool, super cool. The control run. Yeah, they did a control run. They did a Cuphead run.
There's an Outer Worlds one.
Yep, that was the first one they did. I think
Oh,
was Outer Worlds. I remember watching
I'll have
that
to
one
check that one out.
because they.
Okay, cool.
Have you seen the Outer Worlds speedrun? They basically walk up to the ship and just skip the entire first area. I think they do one thing in town and then they come back to the ship and just skip everything. Yeah, it's like a 20-minute
there you
speed run
go.
or some shit for the entire game.
There
So
you go.
it's pretty interesting. Anyways, that's there's a bunch of drama right now with Mick Gordon. The chat was getting me to talk about, but I don't necessarily know. Apparently Mick's done making music for Doom, but they didn't state why. So,
Oh yeah, you hear about that?
only what I just said, that he's apparently done through like a text message, which like, why the fuck is someone sharing text? That's
just super quick for anyone that hasn't heard it. So basically, as everyone knows, the Doom Collector's Edition did not come with a soundtrack like it was supposed to. It got pushed back.
right.
So apparently it kept getting pushed back, and then the virus thing happened. So apparently what happened is, instead of letting Papa Mick Gordon, the mastermind behind this, master all the tracks and make them sound all great, apparently they chucked a large portion of the soundtrack to like my first sound design guy. And he tried to mix the tracks and apparently did it terribly. And then they released that. So apparently a lot of the soundtrack just doesn't sound well mixed at all. And Mick Gordon, who of course this is like one of the shining achievements Mick has done, is music for these games, is understandably very unhappy. It's kind of a really shitty situation because obviously this was supposed to be done on release, and then like months later we get like a subpar product. So you know, I'm sure like Bethesda's pissed, Mick Gordon's pissed, like everyone's just pissed, and yeah, it's just not a good situation.
Yeah, I wonder if that was a money thing, where like
I'm sure it was. I mean,
Bethesda
Bethesda already had egg on their face when they had to announce that the collector's edition wouldn't be coming with it. So obviously, all of this was supposed to be done by the collector's edition. So I'm guessing, the sounds of it, Bethesda was just like, "Screw it, we're tired of waiting." Like, hey, Johnny from accounting, go finish mastering the soundtrack, releasing it Friday. And yeah, apparently Mick only did like a fraction of the actual good stuff, and that's the good stuff on the soundtrack. Like, I think someone in chat just said 10 of 59 tracks were done by Mick. So, yeah. The whole situation's just.
Yeah, that sucks. That sucks.
The analogy I immediately thought of, do you guys remember when they wanted to refurbish the fresco of Jesus, and they've hired someone to repaint it, and it was like, hold on, let me put a link in the chat here. It's that.
That's so bad.
Where it's like Jesus, you know, like this with the crown of thorns, and then they repainted it, and it looks like fucking Alien. Like it's a fucking mess. That's what it feels like. Mick Gordon was like, I made it this masterpiece, and it's like, let me retool it.
Wait a minute. So
do you see it now, JP?
Full disclosure, I've always seen that image on the far right of like the redone version or whatever. And I've always thought that was just like a meme making fun of bad art, like the Tripping Through Time subreddit. That's an actual fucking thing.
Dude, somebody got paid for that.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Woo. Woo.
Yeah, imagine that. Like, imagine the person still alive who painted that saw the refurbished version and went, "What the fuck?
Man.
What have you done?"
Wait,
I can imagine Mick just doing that.
Man.
Okay, apparently it didn't get paid for. It was an old lady from the church that wanted to help. Oh, see, I heard that they actually commissioned it to get redone. So it was just somebody helping?
That's even worse. Man, someone didn't have
Did you get permission though?
Someone didn't have the balls to tell grandmother no. That's what that was.
No.
No, put down the no. Don't ruin it. Man.
Yeah, it's a really old story though. It's at least like 8 to 10 years old.
Jeez.
Yeah.
I always thought that was just like a bad meme type thing where someone made like a bad meme. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Like Sony Tech, Granny, stop! No!
Yeah, stop it, Granny. Stop it. A little bit of news here since we're talking about that Mick Gordon stuff. Greece announced that it sold over 1 million copies. That's fucking awesome to hear that type of story.
Great game.
Game deserves it for sure. Not necessarily super topical for the three of us, but I'm sure a lot of our audience plays Warzone. apparently the way that they're handling cheaters in Warzone is by labeling them cheaters and then making them only play against other cheaters, which is great.
Suspected cheaters.
Suspected
is the
cheaters.
keyword there.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Yeah.
People that have been reported, essentially. So I kind of like that. I'm kind of into that idea where it's just a bunch of cheaters playing against other cheaters. That's fun stuff. What else was?
Oh, I was I watched. Take what you will, say what you will about the movie, but I watched Alita: Battle Angel.
Oh, yeah?
Last night.
Yeah.
And I got this idea in my head because they have all these like, there's a like a competitive game within the movie where they all have like these cybernetic mods and shit, like chainsaw hands and like tentacle arms and shit like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, I had the thought of like, what about like professional sports where we had 2 leagues, no drugs, all the drugs you want, like steroids, juice, and like, dude. I want to see the mutant league fucking baseball games. Like they had to make the parks like way bigger,
essentially,
like bases further apart and shit.
I think that was one of like the original ideas behind the XFL, was that they wanted to kind of be that style league back in the day. But I don't think necessarily the new revision of that was short-lived due to the state of the world. But yeah. It'd be kind of interesting to watch that type of shit, Zeke, for sure. Because the other thing is that there's probably a mix of people within real sports that are already doing that already outperform other people because they're on some sort of performance-enhancing drug. But you just never know.
Yeah, of all the sports, you want to see juiced baseball? Well, I mean, of course we want to see... Oh, you mean regular baseball?
Yeah, it's just regular baseball. Circa like early 2000s. At least when it was in its heyday with that shit. What else was there? Oh, Final Fantasy sold 3.5 million in the first 3 days. It's now the highest earning, like PlayStation, although it's not an exclusive, apparently. I think that's the tagline that they're saying, that it beat God of War, which had 3.3, and I think Spider-Man, which had 3.4, and now Final Fantasy VII Remake is at 3.5 in the first 3 days. So,
okay, for you two guys who played all 3 of those games, Spider-Man, God of War, and Final Fantasy VII Remake. Does it measure up to those?
Does Final Fantasy VII measure up to those 2 games?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's fair.
Although, well,
I mean, Spider-Man's probably on the lower of the 3, I would think, but nostalgia also plays a big factor in 2 of those games, and the other one's just like the best Marvel super. Like, there's so many factors there, I think.
Sure. I'm just trying to gauge your enjoyment of it. Like, I love it.
Well, I was looking at Cohh for an answer.
It's worth thinking about. Like, it's
I was just looking at Cohh for an answer because his face was telling words, but
God of War is like, a remake of God of War, right? It's like a reimagining brought into the new world. Spider-Man, like a reimagining brought into the new world. Final Fantasy VII Remake is like...
I mean, it's a remake. It's in the name.
You don't have to go into detail. It was just a simple yes or no question because you're going to talk about it at length on Sunday.
Yeah.
It's a little bit different. They're different. There's differences. There's important differences.
Yeah. Do I think they're all deserving of that? Yeah, I think those 3 games are like generally fucking amazing in their own respective rights, for sure. I think in terms of, and I guess we don't know because Final Fantasy VII is still new. I don't think they have any plans to do DLC for it. That would just be weird. But Spider-Man's DLC is fucking incredible. The 3 updates that they put in there, like, it's really, really good stuff. Especially for like Spider-Man fans. It's a little bit like B and C tier enemies and characters from that world that are in that game, and it's fucking awesome. So it just adds to the length of how long is the game? 15, 20 hours, something like that. It makes it even more, gives you even more. So definitely worth it. There was some other bit of news that I wanted to talk about, but now I'm just failing at finding it. There was the Crysis remastered stuff, which whatever. that was just weird. Crysis, the first game, I don't have fond memories of that. I literally just use it as a benchmark. so I don't really have any thoughts on it apart from
Completely
that.
forgettable story. I mean, it was like it's kind of weird because a lot of people thought like something big was happening, and they're like, "We're remastering it." And it's just kind of like, oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Well, I can't find the other news, so fuck it. Zeke, you're playing Resident Evil 3. Did you beat it already? Is it done? How much actual?
No, I didn't.
How much hours have you
didn't
gotten out of that? Of all the people that I think can get hours out of a game, where are you at right now in Resident Evil 3?
I put 8 into it and didn't finish it. And
really,
there's a couple of reasons for that.
Okay.
Couple of reasons. First reason, I'm playing it on hardcore mode, and it's not. I mean, it's not impossible in hardcore mode, but it does extend the game a little bit.
Yeah.
But the other reason is because in games like that, I like exploring avenues of. It's like when I played the Yakuza games, all I wanted to do was find all of the heat action kills or whatever.
Sure.
That's all I like. That's all I want to do in like third person games is find the coolest ways, the most efficient ways, the most fun or funny ways to like take care of a mob of zombies or whatever. So I will die and die and die at the same part that I could just run past. In fact, I think I did that. I was like, I could just run past this.
Yeah.
And I did. I just like and just run past and dodge and like went past it. And I never needed to like you don't need to kill any of those guys. There's only certain sections of the game where you have to like use your gun. But I wanted to find out how to I don't know. It's just like the inner workings of the game, like fast, like they are entertaining and satisfying to me.
Sure.
Like I figured out how to like do like a perfect dodge, do the aim to get more damage and stuff like that. It was fun to try and do that to a whole group of zombies and shit like that. So my progress is slow as fuck. I will be completing it tomorrow if you want to check out the ending of the game. All things hopefully. I mean, another 8 hours should be fine for a 5-hour game for me.
I'll look at the VOD off stream just to see. Oh yeah, okay? Yeah, you have no problem.
And then I talk a lot.
Sure.
I stop playing the game to make jokes or
stare at a yellow door.
Yeah, that kind of shit. I'll do like little like when Carlos like every time Carlos calls in, I'll pause the game and talk like Carlos and be like, "Have you seen my VO5? Like I left my hot oil treatment.
He does
my blow dryer in the same spot. I swear to God, they were in the same spot." And I'll do like little like running gags, like I did with Persona 4 and not remembering Nabisco's name, like throughout the entire game. The daughter,
yeah,
because she was neglected and that kind of stuff. Like I'll have running gags throughout the game that I'll try and keep up on.
Yeah, and
that definitely adds like hours onto playthroughs and shit like that. Like Persona 4, if I didn't do like running gags or anything like that, probably would have taken me like 110 hours rather than 150.
Yeah. We'll talk about Persona here in a sec. Are you liking it though? Like, I mean,
I do. I like it.
We made all this hoopla to you. Me and Cohh personally made all this hoopla about Nemesis, and then they just like failed, I think, at recreating Mr. X in Nemesis. How do you feel about him from your point of view?
Nemesis is a monster. Mr. X is an ominous, stoic, unstoppable force.
It's true.
Mr. X doesn't move quickly, and I think that makes him scarier.
Yeah,
for sure.
I agree. I agree.
Oh, yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
It's like Jason Voorhees, like when he's after you, like you never see, or I guess, I don't know if you ever see him running, but you rarely ever see, I've never seen him running.
I haven't either.
He's always just stomping after you, silently, unkillable, like unstoppable murderer.
Yeah.
Fucking scary. That's Mr. X. Nemesis is like the first time I saw him, like I just want, I bet there's a mod out there where every time you see him, he pops onto the screen, like busts through a wall. He either goes, "Surprise, motherfuckers," or he goes, "Oh yeah," like the Kool-Aid man.
Yeah.
Because that's what it feels like. It's a surprise, but I don't feel intimidated. Mr. X was intimidating.
It's a good way to put it. That's for sure.
Yeah.
He's also like, Someone just said in chat, I'll steal their comment. He's also more annoying, Mr. X, because like you said, you can't kill him. And the way that they structure Resident Evil 3 Remake was that like they were set pieces. So like there were ways to defeat Nemesis for the time being, whereas with Mr. X, you just had to like fucking run. You just had to get away from him. So
there was no like shooting an electrical box to stop Mr. X.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I'm glad you're enjoying it.
But I will say, like there is that annoying bullet sponginess when you're playing.
Definitely on hardcore.
On the hardest difficulty.
That's why I didn't play it.
Yeah, it's just, and also, man, it is really like super disappointing. Okay. Just let me say this.
Okay.
If you're going to give me a semi-automatic black rifle that shoots 5.56 bullets, can you give me just like lower amounts of ammo on it so it doesn't feel like I'm shooting a fucking Nerf gun? It is insane. Like I had the pistol out and I was like, pop, pop, pop. It was like 5 shots. And then the 5.56 one was like, and it was doing nothing.
Yeah.
It like took double to triple the amount of bullets to fucking take down a zombie. And I'm like, that's a 5.56.
Yep. It is a little ridiculous. I agree. Yeah.
Or give me a different gun. Like give me something like a fucking SMG. Like an SMG that fires like, shorter, smaller, like less damaging bullets.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It just bothered me because I'm just like sitting there just like making Swiss cheese out of them and it didn't fucking go down.
It's one of the reasons why I played on whatever was below hardcore. Because chat was like, the game gets kind of bullet spongy and that shit would drive me insane. I already felt like normal where I would put like 6 to 7 pistol shots into a zombie's head. The zombie didn't give a fuck. Like that already was annoying to me. So I can't imagine playing on harder difficulties where it's even more ammo. So I get it. I understand the gripe.
Yeah. And for people talking about like, this is the length of the actual cartridge and the bullet. The bullets, like, I know what a 5.56 looks like.
Oh, we got some actuallys in chat.
Screw you.
Yeah.
Actually.
Fucking actuallys.
I love you actuallys.
What time is it? 13 minutes. I could talk about Persona 5 Royale for 13 minutes because I'm basically just going to tell you what's new. Because we talked this game to death since you guys have both played it on the channel 2 years ago, whenever that first game released. In terms of what's new, I kind of think they made the game. I have to be careful here because there's some diehard fans. They made the game a lot easier. There are so many different ways to get SP early on in the game that it's not even like a nuisance anymore. There's 2 entire like confidants that just flat out like raise your SP level in the very beginning of the game. You get baton pass now in the first dungeon and like almost the first fight. Baton pass is the thing that you can like toss between your teammates. There's a confidant that you get pretty early on that if you do that enough times, it can raise your battle pass level so that when you effectively battle pass, you also get SP for battle passing to that particular person.
Baton passing, right?
Yeah. What am I saying? Oh, I'm saying battle pass. Where's battle pass from? That's like another game.
Battle pass is WoW, right?
Is that WoW?
Wasn't it battle pass?
I don't know why I'm saying battle pass. Is that Fortnite?
A defunct website?
I don't know. It's something. It's the wrong word is what it is.
COD Warzone. Oh God.
Maybe it's that. I'm saying it because of Dota 2. That's why I'm saying it. Thank you for that, chat.
Well, I'm thinking of Battle.net. I'm getting confused.
Baton passing, very strong.
Anyway.
You play darts to level up your baton pass level. Eventually that gives you SP. There are things within palaces now called will seeds. And every time you get a will seed, you get a entire group SP restore, not full, but like a percentage SP. I want to say it's like 20% or something like that off the top of my head. And I'm playing on hard difficulty, which is apparently harder than Merciless because Merciless gives you more XP or something like that. So I'm playing on effectively like the hardest version of the game by community standards. and it's not hard at all. At least thus far. I don't know if it's going to get harder, but I feel like it's going to get easier just because the amount of shit. One of the other things that you get really early on, God, I got to remember the term. What the effect of it is your character the main character will start off with 2.5 attack. And I got that right at the start of the second dungeon. So like I'll join a fight and the guy will just have 2.5 attack on his first attack for the fight in the second dungeon. So he's like, you just destroy shit. Flow, that's what it's called. If you remember the game at all, you can unlock flow on your character by like the very beginning. Yeah, they also added like an entire area that you can go to in terms of like the normal day-to-day stuff. There's new personas as early as the first dungeon. New characters, of course, which is kind of the big takeaway. And there's definitely new like cutscenes, new plot lines. Some of the stuff that wasn't voiced in the original game is now voiced in Royale version. I'm trying to think if there's anything like big that I'm missing. It just seems like the amount of SP recovery tools, as someone who played Persona 3 and Persona 4, not necessarily the full game, but I remember the beginning was just a bitch when it came to like managing SP. You had to just leave. I have not had any trouble whatsoever with SP. And I'm even going into each vending machine every Monday and getting all the SP items. At one point, I think I had 20 SP or like 45 SP items, and I didn't even use them in the second dungeon because you just get so much more. And I like one day cleared as much as I could. So they kind of made it a little bit easy.
Did you have any trouble? Because the only trouble I ever had in any of the Persona games was in P4 or any of them. I played two. Yeah. P4 and P5 I had trouble with the very first dungeon in P4, but after that, like all the mobs were easily defeatable.
Yeah.
But some of the boss fights, did you have any trouble with any of the boss fights, or have you gotten there?
I've one-shot every boss fight except for one will. So the third will seed that you get, you fight like a decently hard boss, but they usually have like some sort of gimmick to them. More of a mini boss, not necessarily like a palace boss. And that one of those guys did straight up like one-shot me. I think he did like 200 or 300 damage. But in terms of palace bosses, I've one-shot both of them. They also changed the second palace boss significantly. So like the fight is completely different. Apparently that the how do I say this? The art boss, to jog your memory.
I was just gonna say that's the only one I had real trouble with.
Apparently they changed him to be easier or something. I don't know what the original boss was, so I can't speak to what was changed. Chat will probably be able to fill you in there.
Okay.
But yeah, I haven't had any issues with the game. Someone in chat asked if that's hurting my enjoyment. Not necessarily. Like I'm not breezing through the fights. I'm having to still think about how I approach them in terms of like need to hit the weaknesses, need to make sure that, this guy's debuffed and all that shit. But I'm not failing while I'm doing that. I'm kind of breezing through it so far. So that's fun. Chat reminded me also, every persona now has a trait, and the traits are like, some of them are just wildly strong. I have a Jack Frost that has 50% less SP for any of his ice-based attacks. So Mabufu, which is usually 10 SP, cost 5, which is just like huge in terms of SP, in terms of dungeon progression. There's ones where it's like increases healing. There's ones where it does like 40% more physical damage for your entire party. Are
you finding you end up with like one persona that you just stack shit on?
Well, specifically in the second dungeon, apparently I think both of you did this. There's like the paper looking guy that has null on physical.
Shikiwiji.
Yeah, Shikiwiji. Yep. Yeah. Apparently he's just like always broken. And so
he's stupid. He's stupid powerful.
Yeah. The first thing I did was get him. Yeah. Oh, and also guns reload after every fight. So you can just walk into a fight and just blow everyone's guns, and then the next fight you enter, you have them back, fully reloaded. That's like a pretty big change. It actually made the first dungeon, apparently it made the first dungeon really easy because like the pixies in particular are, we're getting into like the weeds of Persona conversation, but the pixies in particular are weak to guns, and you have like unlimited ammo essentially.
They changed so much.
They changed a lot. Yes.
My God, dude.
They changed
it's like they
a lot.
rebalanced the entire game.
Yeah, for sure. And in some cases, they kind of went too far, I feel. But it didn't lessen my enjoyment of it so far.
And if you want to know, I will say this definitively. I said it probably 300 times at least during playing P4. No, I am not playing Persona 5 The Royal. One Persona game per year is plenty. It took me a month when I did P5. It took me another month when I did P5 or P4 Golden. So no, if I'm going to play another Persona, it will be until 2021.
There you go. The grappling hook changes the entire layout of dungeons. Specifically, if you remember the first dungeon, I won't say whose name it is in case someone plans on playing. When you go to the rooftop and it has those 3 red mobs, if you remember that being like a real pain in the ass spot in that dungeon, the entrance area, if you look up now, the grappling hook ability activates, and you can press L1 and you'll just fly straight up and skip those 3 mobs. And you go into like a complete little different area and land behind them, so you don't even have to fight them. And then also if you go that route, there's a will seed, and the only way that you can get the will seed stuff is usually by those kind of alternate routes. But by skipping, like I went back and eventually killed those because you need the XP for a lot of that. That game's, based on progression.
Army.
Yeah, it's a little farmy. So there's like a whole new thing called the Thieves' Den, which I haven't really done too much in. It seems a little bit of like a collectathon of like, you could unlock these pieces of art and that type of shit. So I haven't gone down that path too much. But it's mostly just like, there's a lot of stuff that's been changed. Story-wise, it's still very much the same. There's new stuff in the game that has to do with the new confidants and the new character that have been like small story threads throughout the game so far. That's adding to it, but it's not taking away or changing the main story of the game. I also think I'm going to spend, like, Zeke, you had 200 plus hours in P5, right? What was your total playtime? So
I don't know, 220, I think.
I think I'm about to unlock the 3rd palace, and I'm at 40 hours. So I think I might be pushing a lot of hours in that game. I mean, I knew that I was going to, but I think I might be pushing like 50 plus more just by the amount of shit. So we'll see how that goes. Dude. Yeah, there's a lot.
And someone in my chat asked me, have you played the Shin Megami Tensei, like other games? Because I had no idea how big that universe is. And I didn't know.
Oh, yeah, it's big.
There's like, I don't know, 70, 80 games that all fall under the SMT like umbrella.
Yeah.
Something like that.
They've been making them for 2 decades.
Someone just sent me Shin Megami Tensei Digital Devil Saga 2, P3 FES, and Nocturne.
Yep.
So I have and this isn't even scratching the fucking surface. Like they're all brand new in the fucking PlayStation 2. Thank you, Craig, by the way.
That's like 400 hours right there of games.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a lot.
Are they all like Persona? Is it like a style, or are they all just completely different types of games?
Some of those I don't necessarily know Nocturne, but like Persona 3 Fez is a Persona game through and through. The others have similar stuff for sure.
Well, and something else I didn't know is that Persona 4 and Persona 5, like technically, their full title is Shin Megami Tensei Persona 4.
Yeah.
Like they all stemmed from the SMT universe. There's a whole there's a graphic where you can look at like the start to the finish, and it's just like
it's massive.
It's like trying to follow like the Zelda timeline, like the Legend of Zelda games timeline, times like 5.
Well, yeah, I mean, I look at it as like it's like Final Fantasy if they didn't have restraint.
There you go. Yeah,
because like there's been 15 Final Fantasies, and in some cases they don't necessarily have restraint. They have a bunch of random offshoots for that.
Yeah.
It's a lot, though, for sure. The other thing that's been really fun playing through Persona 5 is since I stopped at like partway through the 2nd dungeon, I'm effectively playing blind, and I don't know the story. I also don't know the characters. So like someone will pop up on screen as just kind of like a character in the background. And you'll see a little bit of chat. Most of the time they get timed out too quick because my mods have played the game a lot. But I'll just see like 4 or 5 messages get timed out. So then I'll go back to the screen and be like, wait a minute, something's on the screen that someone got timed out for. Something big might have just happened. What went on? And then I don't know. So I'm playing pretty blind in that. And I don't know who the characters are. I don't know who like the bad guys are or anything like that. And I don't know what personas are coming up. It's been fun. I'm enjoying the playthrough for sure. I just think it's gonna be like a 200+ hour ordeal. There's an entire third semester apparently at the end of the game. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Do not count on it being done.
Oh, I never do. Yeah, I never do. The funny thing is I saw you beat the final boss in the game, but in Persona world, that doesn't mean shit. Like it doesn't you can know the final boss, but it's like, oh, okay, cool. That doesn't mean anything. You don't know why you were fighting that guy. You don't know how you got there. You don't know who all these people are. Yeah, that type of shit. So
the final boss in Persona games is the friends you made along the way.
It's true. So, yeah, that's Persona 5 Royale. I'll be playing it for a lot. I'm going to take some breaks.
Not literally, Cohh.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to take breaks every once in a while from the game just so I can not necessarily stay sane, but just play other games. We'll be checking out which one comes out first. There's 2 XCOM games coming out. One of them is actually an XCOM game, and then the other is Gears.
Chimera is Friday.
Chimera is Friday, and then Gears Tactics is Tuesday?
Next Friday?
Or next Friday? Oh. Is it Tuesday? Is it Friday? I don't know. Next week.
It's the 28th. I want to say 28th, maybe?
I think that's right. So I'll be checking both those out.
I don't know.
And splitting days with Persona, but yeah, then I think chat somehow convinced me to go play the other Xenosaga remake. So I guess I'm just turning into a JRPG channel for the next month.
Good luck, sir.
So yeah, that is what it is.
So kawaii.
Yeah. So we do for a break. Zeke, you've been playing. You're playing the sequel to the 7th Ghost? What? Can you set this up?
It's the game is called the 13th Doll, and it's a fan-made game.
13th Doll.
Based on the 7th Guest.
7th Guest. Okay.
Yes. Right. It was a passion project Kickstarter for, I think they worked on it for 3 or 4 years. They got it made in, I think, 2018. And it's basically kind of an homage. It's a love letter to the 7th Guest with similar locations, puzzles. I think they even got the original voice actor of the main bad guy. I think it's still him, but yeah, it's just basically it's like fan fiction for the 7th Guest. It's great.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
And then we'll talk to Cohh about some X4 because it seems like you jumped back into that. Another game that I think got patched and updated, and we'll hear a little bit about that after the break. And then I don't know what else we'll do. We'll figure something out. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more Drop Frames right after this. We'll see you guys then. Hey Zeke, how's it going?
Oh, I'm all right. I just wish I could watch my favorite show, Uncle Jack's Woodworking Shack. Videos are blocked in my country.
Zeke, you should use a VPN.
A VPN? What do you mean? What's that?
Well, a VPN, or virtual private network, is a connection method used to add security and privacy to private and public networks, like Wi-Fi hotspots and the internet.
Well, that sounds great, Cohh. There's so many of them to choose from, though. What should I use?
Well, Zeke, I recommend the best VPN in the business, NordVPN. Go to nordvpn.com/dropframes and use DropFrames to get 70% off a 3-year plan and an extra month for free. Protect yourself online today, Zeke. And let me tell you, NordVPN makes it really easy on their website to get things working. even you can make it work, Zeke. Even you can do it.
Gee, thanks, JP. You almost said that entire line without messing. I mean, you're really, you know, I still hate you, even through this dumb ad.
So visit nordvpn.com/dropframes. Again, that's nordvpn.com/dropframes, or check below the stream in the description box and get started today.